Hi there. I've been a tutor for about 10 years now, and the number one question that I get from students and parents is, how do I get into college? Or more specifically, how do I get into the college of my dreams? And I've essentially broken that down into five different categories. And a lot of people ask, are those the only categories that they think about? And the answer is no. There are other things like ethnicity, family income, but those aren't important because you're a kid and those are things that you can't control. It's not your fault or anybody's fault that you are of a certain ethnicity or a certain income. It doesn't matter, okay? Because you can dwell on it all day long, but it's not going to change anything and it's not going to help you get into the college that you want. So the number one thing that you should think about is, what can I physically change? What can I do to get into these colleges? And at the end of the day, those are more important than any of those other qualities or whatever. They're not important because the majority of what colleges think about is what's really important. And that's how hard you worked and how you improved and how you're going to get there. Okay? So let's get into it. Number one is GPA. So I know you knew that was going to come out of my mouth. And number one, it is super important. Um, some colleges think it's more important than others, but any college you're going to apply to, they're going to want your GPA. Okay, so why is GPA so important? Number one, it shows you worked hard, you've studied hard, or you're just naturally smart. In the traditional education system that we are currently in, it shows those things, right? One or all. And so what is college? It's also a very traditional education system. So if you succeeded in the first one, high school being that first one, you'll probably succeed in the next one. Okay, so that's what they're looking for. So, and good thing about GPA is if you work hard, you study hard, you're probably going to improve. Okay, if you're naturally smart, lucky you. But for a lot of us, you need to study hard and work hard, and your GPA will improve. And that's something you can control and you can work on. Does this mean that you need to have a 4.0 GPA unweighted throughout your entire high school academic career? Obviously not. Okay? You want as close to it as possible, but everybody knows, if you start out your freshman year in high school, it takes some time to acclimate. If your grades suffer a little bit, that's fine. But as long as you're improving consistently and colleges can see that, that's great and that's huge. And that's what you want to be focused on. So I'm going to end GPA there. The next one, number two, SAT scores. I know everybody hates the SAT. I hate the SAT. I've taught it for nearly 10 years now. I do not like the exam. I don't think it's a great indicator of how well you're going to do in college or in life at all. That's what I don't like about it. But what I do like about it is that something you can work on. This test you can study for. It's totally something that you can work on, study, and do well. It will improve. So I'm going to get into the SAT in another video. I'll probably break it up into like math, verbal, writing, etc. But just know that you don't need some crazy SAT tutoring center to do well on this test. You really don't. All you need is a lot of drive, motivation. You need to be able to structure your time well and study and take as many practice tests as possible. Go to the libraries, Kaplan, Princeton Review, College Board. Those are things you should know. And if you do well on that, your score will show that. Okay? And so people ask, why do you have both? Why do you have GPA and SAT? So one thing to consider is think about high school. Some are harder than others. Say those magnet schools you got to test into, and it's the most competitive in the world. How many of them are there, right? So say a kid from that school gets a 3.6 GPA, not so high. But then there's another kid who went to a very easy school, just sort of slid by, got a 4.0. Is that 4.0 better than the 3.6 student? Not necessarily. They can be, but not necessarily, right? Considering the competitiveness of their school. So in that scenario, it's not really fair. So you need something to offset that, which is where the SAT comes in. Is it great? No, but it's currently what we have, And just, it's something that, luckily, it's something that you can study for. So don't worry about it. Just do great in it, okay? So that, I'm going to leave those aside. Let's leave those. Let's go into the other three. So third, I'm going to sort of jumble clubs, interests, hobbies, and volunteering all into one. So this is a way to sort of get out of the classroom and show what you're interested in. And this doesn't mean if you're a senior right now and you all of a sudden start joining 10 clubs, start volunteering at every hospital around your area. Don't do that. Because a big thing about clubs, interests, and hobbies and volunteering is the commitment, okay? Starting to do them all on your 4th year of high school, colleges know it's just for the application. It's not genuine. They don't like it. Don't do it, okay? So what do? Say you're in 9th grade. You don't know what you want. Some people are lucky. They know exactly what they want and they do it. But some kids aren't so lucky. That was me. What you should do is you just join everything and anything, okay? Dance, football, I don't know, band, FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, Key Club, Computer Science Club, Mathletes, whatever. Just join them, okay? Whatever, anything and anything. If your friend likes doing it and you don't want to, just try it, okay? Just go. And then halfway through the year, things you absolutely hate to test, it makes you sick to even go, start dropping them, okay? Don't drop them all. The ones that you can sort of like, I guess I could do it. Stick with it. You never know what you can learn from it. You may not like it, but there's a lot of things you can learn from things you don't like, okay? Just try it, okay? As long as you don't absolutely, it makes you want to like throw up doing it, okay? But even then, sometimes you should still do it. Like, it made me want to throw up to like go on stage and talk in front of a bunch of people. It made me sick to the stomach, but I did it anyways, and now I'm able to talk comfortable in front of a lot of people. So there's something to doing things you don't like. You never know. And that's the important part of this, is the clubs. All of that is the commitment. Just do it, okay? And keep with it. And that's something that people will admire, that people can admire you for, and colleges will too. So let's put that aside now. Next is leadership. You need leadership skills. This is something that you can learn from high school. And of course, student body president, vice president, blah, 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 varsity captain, president of your, science team, whatever. Those are obvious, right? That is leadership, and that's great. If you can do it, along with that commitment, if you've been in there for 4 years, there's a better chance you might become a leadership role in the club or whatever, right? So those can go a little hand in hand. But in addition, that's not the only type of leadership out there. For example, if you're interested in helping homeless shelters and you don't have a program like that in your school, start it. That's leadership, These are things that you can control, that you can sort of, whatever you're interested in, if it's not there, create it. That's leadership in itself. And that's going to carry on into college, and more importantly, after college, into your career, into your life. That's super important, okay? Lastly is that something special, awards, or something along the lines of that, okay? That's why the kids who published a book before they were 16 go to these great colleges. The girl who won the gold at Olympics, okay? That's something special. Does it need to be that big? No, not at all. It does not need to be that big. Awards make you stick out. That could be your something special, Seek those opportunities out, like do internships. That could be your something special, okay? If you're interested in politics, go to your city council. See if you can intern. Competitions like science fairs, win those, just win them. But, that's what I'm talking about. Having that something special, really putting yourself out there, making yourself different from every other applicant out there, that is what will bring you ahead, okay? If your grades suffer, if you don't have one of the other things, like your SAT scores and that great, okay, you need to have that something special. And that's something that I can't help you with. I can help you find that something special, but I can't create it for you. So that's what you want to keep in mind, okay, as you're looking into colleges. And I'm not saying that these five, you know, I guess categories, if you succeed in all of them, there's a really great chance that you're going to get into the college of your dreams. I'm not going to guarantee it, but there's a very good chance. And these are things that you can control, that you can work on, and that's about it. So if you have any questions or comments, put them down below, and I'm going to have other videos out there. So look forward to them, and I'll see you guys later.